Red?
Red?
What?
Red?
Red? Red.
Red.
What we're doing is creating a whole new model of what an orchestra is.
It is an orchestra that tries to help the audience fall in love with the music and rediscover classical music.
Part of enjoying the arts is experiencing it with others. It just makes it real, it makes it part of the human experience.
We wanted to do something that would reinvent the way classical music was performed and presented.
We had to have a name and an identity that really resonated to the Cleveland community. We hired people to conduct a market research and identity campaign. Red was so obvious and so strange, all at the same time. That says a lot about what we want to do. When you say red, what's the images that come to your mind? What's the feelings that you have?
I put the music in the context. I hear it in a way that probably was meant to be heard in terms of what the composer had in
mind. I must say that I was quite taken with the idea that classical music could reach out to people that weren't familiar with classical music, like myself and my children, who were raised backstage at rock concerts. That was the hook for me.
The most exciting thing for me at the Celluloid Copeland concert was to see teenagers and their parents in the hall. And I sat thinking, our mission statement of getting a new part of the Cleveland population, it was happening.
The most important thing for me is that we work to make a connect in people's lives that they can experience classical music.
The reason that we were so anxious to get as many people as possible to the Grateful Red was so that we could introduce the orchestra to the public. We feel that we have something different here. We've got something special.
Because of my past experience in movies, I like to bring a lot of theatrical elements into the concert experience and visual elements as well. Because I think it's possible to draw the audience in and then to demonstrate to them the power of music and the vast variety of music.
There are many differences between Red and the Cleveland Orchestra. One is that we're a small, very flexible orchestra. Often our instrumentation is not the typical classical music instrumentation. We play a lot of music by great composers that is not as well known.
The Red concerts, there is so much more happening that you don't feel quite the same way as you do at a Cleveland Orchestra concert, because there's so many things to see and so many new things to learn, and you feel very much that the orchestra's reaching out to you.
A major difference is the way we tie the pieces together and speak a little bit to the audience so they get a whole experience. It has a very different feel, and I think it's a little more engaging to the audience.
It has been unbelievable. The first one with the puppets, first of all, the theater was filled. The crowds loved it. I loved it, and I thought this is a good addition to Cleveland.
I think of it as an aha moment that happens in each of these programs we've done, where the repertoire we've played sort of comes together and it all makes sense, and you understand why a certain piece was written, and the audience has a strong sense of, wow, I'm really glad I came here tonight. I learned something.
I don't know where you'll find a space big enough to take care of all the interest, but it's definitely here to stay. That I can see.
For a musician to start an orchestra is insight into a whole nother aspect of making music. It seems often to be a monumental challenge.
The first 4 bars ask the question.
But while you're performing, you're able to observe how that's making a difference in people's lives.
I've been very moved by the fact that musicians help form this orchestra, a very unusual thing. Musicians who took their own careers and their own lives into their own hands and decided that they wanted something in their own image. And I'm very flattered that they asked me to come here and be a part of that.
Redefine.
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 Redesign.
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 And rediscover.
Rediscover.
Rediscover.